Well, this is Kevin Shaw, and I'm privileged to introduce myself in a sample few minutes of a lesson and explain why I want to work for all schools. And I've been a full time teacher for 11 years. I've worked with public school setting, um, charter school, charter school, homeschool, and court and community school. And I also was a tutor for several years prior to that. And um, Teaching is my second major career. I changed in my 30s. And just This is where I'm going to be for the rest of my life. Just love education, love students. And So let's get started. Boys and girls, I want to welcome you guys today back to school. And I'm here as your dedicated teacher, Mr. Shaw. And so let's learn today. So I just want to say hello to you, Carlos, to Jesus, Jamari, Angel, Mariana, Luis, and Joe. So let's get started. Writing sentences with elaborations, using parts of speech in writing. Mr. Shaw's English 5 class. All right, so the objectives today, what we're going to be able to do, students will be able to use the IVF frame as a foundation for writing the most basic, complete sentence. Use parts of speech within the IVF framework to build sentences with increasing levels of detail. All right, we talked about the parts of speech, boys and girls, and you have a good grasp of that. So all this is pretty much a review, but what's new today is the IVF frame and how to build that, uh, use that to build better sentences. Definitions. So, any questions so far? Louis, you have a puzzled look on your face. What is the I? Great question. You walked right into our slide right here. So IVF frame is a sentence frame that combines I, meaning identifying the subject, V, naming the verb or verb phrase, and F, the finished thought or direct or indirect object. Okay, now a sentence needs to have a subject and a verb. It says here a complete thought using a subject and verb. Most sentences add a finished thought for more detail. Okay, and the subject, of course, Mariana, you're smiling. Yeah, exactly. I knew you were probably going to ask that question. So is that what your question is? Yeah, okay. You want to read that for us, by the way? Great. Good job. Thank you. All right. So that is our basic vocabulary. And we quick we did the quick review yesterday already. So just the parts of speech, right? Noun, verb, adjective, and adverb. You guys did great on the quiz. You all got 100%. I'm very proud of you guys. And I'm glad that you're all here today. And so you also, when we did that quiz, you came up as a class um, with these, what we call a parts of speech bank. So we have our nouns here, our verbs, our adverbs, and adjectives that you can use. And remember that we also talked about pictures. So if you're stuck on writing a sentence, you can visualize um, verbs, nouns, adjectives, and adverbs just by looking at me, looking at the background, looking around your house, right? Even looking on the internet for pictures. So here's the IVF frame. Identify your subject, put down your verb and your finished thought. And you see the example here of Hannah is the subject. So we're going to identify Hannah. Remember, the subject is who or what does the action. It can be an animal, it could be a robot, it could be a storm. But for now, we'll use a person, Hannah. Verb is dancing. Finished thought, Friday. So read that whole sentence for me. Let's read it as a class. 1, 2, 3. Hannah is dancing Friday. Again, Hannah is dancing Friday. Just like speaking, right? Okay. Our next slide here is, let's move on to our workspace. So introducing our workspace. And there I am, just kind of giving you a fist bump. Here we go. Okay, so that was part of our quiz throughout the week, and it finished yesterday. So we can also say Hannah and her sisters, as we see here, are dancing on Friday night. Now, what you'll see here is that this is more of an elaborate sentence. There's more detail. That's what we want. And now we're going to color code our adjectives blue. And we can see here that that adjective will modify Hannah and her sisters by describing them, right? So, Angel, would you care to read for us these adjectives down here in this first box? Thank you. Great job there. And thanks. I appreciate you enunciating your voice for everybody. And Jamari, would you like to read our adverb example? Exactly. Thank you. And Lewis, you've been kind of quiet, but that's okay. We like quiet as well. Can you read our other adjective in the third box here? Right. Okay, great. So let's read this whole sentence as a class. I'll read it the first time. Hannah and her 5 friendly sisters are dancing wildly on a festive Friday night. Class together. 1, 2, 3. Hannah and her 5 friendly sisters are dancing wildly on a festive Friday night. And by the way, today's Friday, isn't it? That was pure luck. Okay, so the point here is that when you write your first sentence, you want to start to elaborate by focusing here on these adjectives and focusing on Hannah and her sisters. And remember how we talked about you can really visualize this and then use your visual memory to write these things. And then we modify dancing by saying how, wildly. And we modified Friday by saying festive. Okay, so now it's your turn. So I want everyone to come up with your example of your subject. Identify who or what is doing the action. Again, if you want to choose the wind, such as the wind blows softly, okay, that's a good example there. All right, everybody got that? So put down your identify. All right, it looks like you're all doing it. Put your thumbs up if you finished that. Excellent. Okay, great. All right, now we're going to add our verb. So add your verb. Mariana, do you want me to review the definition of a verb? That's right, it's an action word. Okay, I just saw you thinking there. Put your thumbs up if you got your verb. Perfect. Thanks, guys. And we're going to come up with our finished thought. It can be a word or it can be a phrase. So think just logically. What makes sense? What can you visualize? And just add the rest of that into your sentence, right? Let's take a few seconds longer for this. Okay, I can see you guys doing it. Wow, you're fast, Luis. Okay, great. Thumbs up if you finished, or F for your finished thought. Excellent. All right. Mariana, would you like to pick our next volunteer to read their sentence? All right, you're picking Joe. Okay, Joe. We haven't picked on Joe yet. All right. We're going to let Joe give his example. Okay. Mr. Shaw teaches online. Yeah. So you literally visualized me. Right. That's awesome. All right. You guys are great. Anybody else want to share? Okay. Carlos plays guitar all night in the band. Okay. You got the right idea. Okay. Good job, everyone. All right. So that is where we're at. You guys are awesome. And I just want to thank you for your time And tomorrow we'll review some more of this and we'll get more elaborate with this with some other parts of speech. Thanks for your attention, guys. Okay, so I want to thank Allschools for this opportunity to share my lesson uh, with you. And as you can tell, I really enjoy kids. And I went to a homeschool conference in San Jose, California, where I met some representatives from Allschool. We really hit it off. And I picked up on their passion immediately for teaching. And they have the same energy that I have that I bring to the classroom. I also want to talk about what I bring to Allschool is I bring not only a passion for our students, and I really like them, is I bring a desire to show them that I'm an adult who cares about them and that this is what I call, and this is a term I phrase, relationship learning, which is um, kids don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And if you address their social emotional needs, that you recognize them, you understand that sometimes they won't understand the lesson. So you read their face, you're good at the body language, and you make it safe for them and you make them always feel important. Um, and even when they make mistakes, that's really important. So I do have a lot of teaching experience. Like I said, 11 years, fully credentialed full-time English teacher. I've taught other subjects as well, so I'm very comfortable. Primarily, I'm high school right now, but I also have taught in a hybrid um, learning environment. I taught online during the pandemic and synchronous and asynchronous learning, so I was very comfortable with that. I also developed curriculum for the district. I was a sub. Um, my principal called me the most well-rounded student in the district. Because I taught ELD for 7 years, I had the opportunity to um, have the same students for multiple years and to see the change in them when they really trust the adult and when you really have a chance to build that relationship and develop it over several years. And I got quicker at that. So even if I only had them for a year or less than a year, I knew how to develop that relationship with them, that trust. And I use humor too. No sarcasm, no jokes, but just innocent humor. Um, and I know there's probably a lot of things I'm forgetting, but hopefully um, there's a match compatibility between your company and myself, and just look forward to working with you guys. Thanks for this opportunity.